What's 37 times 3? The number of you subscribed to me. Hey yo, what up? It's Billy Quick, welcome back. Just want to say thanks to everybody for the support. 100 subscribers in less than a month, that's super exciting. I really appreciate it. So today we're going to be trying something a little bit different. We're going to be opening a booster box for Altered's first release set, which is the Kickstarter edition of Beyond the Gates. Now you might be wondering, Billy, in your last video, you showed that you have a playset of every card from the first set, Beyond the Gates. So why are you opening more Beyond the Gates boxes or sealed product? So Altered has these unique cards. They're literally one of ones. When you open a pack and you get one of those gold framed or gold bordered cards, you're the only person to have that unique card. That's super exciting and gives you a reason to open this sealed product. So I'm going to be fast forwarding through a lot of the commons and rares that I open in this box so that I don't bore you to death, and also because it's not very exciting to me. I already own all of them. There are other reasons to open this Kickstarter box, like the difference between this Kickstarter box and the retail version of the Beyond the Gates box that I've opened several of already, is these Kickstarter editions have a chance to have what the community refers to as God packs. And those packs are full of unique cards. Literally every card in the pack is a unique. So that's super exciting, and hopefully we get one on our first try. These Kickstarter boxes also have a higher chance at uniques in each pack, which is super exciting. I'll put a graphic up on the screen so you can see the difference between what these Kickstarter editions and the retail boxes have for comparison. And then I also plan to just, when I encounter a unique or several uniques, hopefully in one of those God packs, I intend to stop and talk about it a little bit so you can get some commentary and I can see what kind of decks these uniques might fit into. Oh, and one more thing. These Kickstarter boxes have one more booster pack than your traditional booster box. So here is a Trial by Frost for comparison, which is the latest set of Altered TCG. And this has 36 packs. The Kickstarter edition has 37. And one of those has got to be the God pack, am I right? But without further ado, let's get started. I'll quit yapping. Awesome, so we hit our first unique. Let's take a look. So if you control one or more landmarks, your other expedition and the expedition facing it can't move forward. So this is already what Isitok does as a card. This gives it an additional restriction of controlling one or more landmarks, which is a downside. However, the Played from Reserve effect, you may discard a permanent, is quite good, but it is 7 mana from reserve. So I don't know if this is quite good enough to be played. I don't know. I'll have to look and compare it to other unique Isitoks on the marketplace. My initial reaction is that this isn't great. I think the stat line is already what Isitok is already. It's a 4/4/4, so yeah, I'll just have to take a look. Random side note, I will say opening these packs is a lot easier than the Beyond the Gates retail version. For some reason, they just feel a bit easier to crack. Alright, so I teased it a little bit by accidentally picking up the one before it with this underneath, but this is a bittersweet unique to open because this Moonlight Jellyfish is currently suspended. They're all variations of the unique Moonlight Jellyfish card are currently suspended. And that's because there are some versions of these cards that are completely broken, and they create what they refer to as infinite loops in this game. Now, I don't know exactly what the ones that are broken look like, so let's do a quick evaluation. At first glance, this one has decent stats for the cost, so it's 2 from hand, 1 from reserve, 102. And then it says, when you play it from anywhere, you may sacrifice me. If you do, you may return a card from your reserve to your hand. That's pretty good, being able to sacrifice it as soon as you play it. Oh, I think this might be one of the infinite ones, because if you play it from reserve for 1, you may sacrifice it, and you may return a card from your reserve to your hand, which can be itself, because when you play it from reserve, it's fleeting, and when I'm sacrificed... Oh, never mind. This one is not infinite. I am just, silly. I think this one is pretty good, though. It also has a support ability if you may return a spell from your reserve to your hand. So, I don't know. I think this one is solid, but maybe I'm missing something. I can understand why this card is suspended. I mean, for everything that it does, for how cheap it is, this seems quite good. Alright, third unique already. We're not even that far through the box. So this one is Jeanne d'Arc. So immediately, right away, the stat line is pretty interesting. It is 4 from hand, 4 from reserve, 3/4/3. Now, I already see a red flag here. Whenever I leave the expedition zone, you may pay 1. So anytime I see a unique that has that you may pay 1 effect, your mana is already so restricted and altered. You're usually trying to spend all of it every single turn, so you can't plan around spending that extra mana all the time. And also, Jeanne d'Arc's base effect, you don't have to pay for. So I think this is just going to be worse on average than a Jeanne d'Arc, rare or common version. But the stats are interesting, and it does have a support effect that makes a 1/1/1, so this seems below average. Okay, is that our 4th unique? Yes, it is. So this unique Thoth. At first glance, this looks pretty good. Just a gut check here. It's 4 from hand, 3 from reserve, 3/3. Those stats are not bad. From hand, you gain 2 boosts, so already 4 mana, 5/5/5 right off the rip. That's not too shabby. When my expedition fails to move forward during dusk, after rest, create a 1/1/1 and target expedition. I think that's already what Thoth does. So this seems perfectly playable. It also has the support ability of After You, which can be quite good. But on the back end, as people say, if you want to play it from reserve, a 3 mana 3/3 is not too bad, especially when it makes a 1/1/1 if it fails to move forward. So I think this is a perfectly playable unique. I don't expect it to be too valuable. Yeah, this just seems fine. Let me know what you think. All right, 5th unique. We're already above rate here for opening uniques in a booster box. Okay, let's take a look. So Ortis Attorney, 4 from hand, 2 from reserve, 2/1/2. And then if you play this from hand, if you control 1 or more landmarks, draw 2 cards. That's pretty solid. In Ortis, this blue faction here, you're not often playing too many landmarks, but in a deck where you're trying to maybe take advantage of Baba's Isba or something, this could be very good. Spending 4 mana for a 2/1/2 to draw 2 cards is quite good effect. And now the secondary effect here is when my expedition fails to move forward during dusk, after rest, draw a card. Oh, this is a great draw engine. Even if you end up having to play this from reserve and you don't get the from hand effect, you can still end up drawing a card. So I think this card is quite good. This is probably above average. So let me know what you think. Oh wow, we got a foil unique. This is my first foil unique, so that's very exciting. I also love Foundry Mechanic as a card. So I don't even have a Foundry Mechanic of this art, I don't think, unless I've opened one and haven't been paying attention. But let's see, so 2 from hand, 1 from reserve, 0/2/1. When a robot joins your expedition, you may discard a card from your reserve. Okay, that's already a pretty huge downside, because discarding cards from your reserve is, you're going to need a good payoff. So if you do, you may have target character other than me lose fleeting and gain a boost. That can be good. This doesn't really fit with what Axiom is trying to do, at least right now. Maybe, I guess there's Bravo's Tracer that you can have lose fleeting and gain a boost. That's beneficial, but if you're playing Bravo's Tracer in your deck, you're probably not playing a bunch of robot synergies. And then we've got a support effect here. The next permanent you play this afternoon costs 1 less. That can be solid if you're resupplying this card or putting this card into your reserve. You can then use a support effect in a deck like Sierra. I think this is okay. For the mana cost, it's probably just fine. But still exciting regardless. First foil unique. Oh, nice. Is this number 6? Man, we are killing it today of these unique openings. Alright, Ortis Gatekeeper and the Ortis faction, or blue faction here. 3 from hand, 4 from reserve, 2, 2, 4. Those stats are not too bad. We'll have to see if this effect really pays off. So from reserve, if you control 3 or more characters you control gain a boost. That's going to be quite good in Sigismar, where you're already making a character for free. This is a second character, so you just need one other character to trigger this effect from reserve. And you're going to give your whole team, your whole squad a boost, which is quite good for Sigismar. Now the second effect is when I leave the expedition zone, create a 1/1/1 soldier in your other expedition. I think that's just fine. I don't think this is exceptional, but I do think this card is perfectly playable. And if you do end up triggering the from reserve effect, a 4 mana 3/3/5 and additionally 2/2/2 and other stats is quite powerful. So I think this is playable and probably above average. Okay, and we're on to the last pack. I think we've opened 6 uniques so far, so let's hope for the God Pack on this one. I didn't mention earlier, but the God Pack has, I believe, a 1 in 8 chance in each booster box to have one. So, we'll see. Well, sadly, we didn't get a God Pack, but we did open 7 uniques. Of these 7 uniques, I actually think the best one is the Ortis Attorney, which is in the top left on this display. Being able to draw that many cards for such a cheap investment is quite powerful. The second best card is probably the Moonlight Jellyfish. If I'm understanding it correctly, it is also the cutest card, so it earns a little bit of extra points for me. But let me know what you guys think about these uniques. Maybe I missed an interaction that you think would be quite good with one of these uniques, and I'm excited to hear about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.